to another episode of El Mexican Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Samara Perez, filling in for Hugo Bernal, who couldn't join us today. But welcome. Thank you for being here. And a reminder to subscribe to all our social media platforms so you can stay up to date to all the latest news in Liga MX and about the Mexican national soccer team and more. All right, so let's go ahead and welcome our guests for today. We have a lot of people joining us. All right, let's begin with El Super Mojado. Super, how are you?
Good, guys. How you guys doing? I'm ready for another round.
One more. We're getting close to the 200. So that's exciting. And then now let's welcome El Buen Fernando. Fernando.
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing great. It was a great weekend. Pumas won against Juarez, and then what was it on Tuesday? Pumas won against Cruz Azul, so it was a great weekend for me.
Awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about Pumas later on in today's show. And we also have somebody who's joining us who hasn't been here in a while. Edwin, how are you? Where you been at?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Being good, just working a lot, covering a lot of games, doing a lot of stuff. But excited to be back.
That's awesome. Thank you for joining us. And thank you everyone for watching. All right, so shall we get started with today's episode, which is the Mexican national soccer team and their group for the World Cup, Qatar 2022. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at their group stage. Is it the group of death we have on our photo there?
I already feel the negativity coming from you guys. Super and Edwin, I don't think they believe in Mexico much.
Whoa. Speak for yourself, Fernando.
All right, let's take a look at the schedule. We see Group C. That's the group that Mexico is in, and we have them facing Argentina, we have them facing Poland, and we have them facing Saudi Arabia. I believe the first game is against Poland. Then that's on November 22nd. And the times, I'm confused on the times there. But from what I remember, it was at 11 a.m., if I'm not mistaken.
11 a.m. Eastern, right?
Mexico.
I'm sorry.
That's why I'm confused. It says all times are Eastern. Okay, because I'm in Central Time. And for Central Time, I believe it was 10 a.m.?
It's 9 a.m.
Anyways, we have, November 26th, we have them facing Argentina. And then that's at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. Okay, there we go. And then November 30th is their game against Saudi Arabia at 1 p.m. again. And then we also see the other teams in the group and when they will be facing each other. So, all right, let's see. Vamos a empezar con el buen Edwin, that he's back. What do you think that El Tri will make it out of the group stage, taking into consideration who they're facing?
I mean, you can see the group is not going to surprise like we did in 2018 against Germany and when beat Argentina, our chances will be a lot better. Because if you think about this and think more ahead in the future, and you see if Mexico goes in second place, they might face either France, and then if they for some reason they beat France, they'll probably end up facing either England or Germany. And so it's going to be nothing but a tough workout for Mexico. But I believe we have an opportunity to either to go to the next round. Hopefully, it won't be as. I mean, the the path won't be super tough. I mean, the way Mexico's playing right now is not the greatest, is not the best. But I mean,
So your answer is yes.
I'm hoping that yes.
Okay. How about you, Super? What do you think?
Well, I mean, in other times, if you tell me this group, right? You name me this group. I would say, listen, this looks fairly decent to me. I mean, it's we just have had a lot of challenges against them on World Cups, and very unfortunate results. But again, I was in elimination rounds, right? We can take Argentina. We can at least tie them. Let's go back to 2014 when they faced Brazil, that they gave a good game and they tied Brazil. So I think in group stage there's a lot less pressure. So beating Argentina should be not an impossible task. And then Poland barely made it, right? They went via repechaje. So Edwin is correct. It's Lewandowski and 10 more. And Saudi Arabia is just, I think it's not as difficult. They're not a really difficult team to beat. It's very doable. But again, we go back to the way Mexico is playing. Tata Martino, if he doesn't change his ways, that most likely he's not going to change his ways because he's just set on those. And usually técnicos se mueren con la suya. They are very stubborn. They will not change the way that they used to play. So
will they?
And like I said, en papel is very doable, and I want to say that they will advance.
Yes. Okay, Fernando. What do you say? We have Edwin and Super saying yes. What's your prediction?
I actually think they can go through with 9 points. They just have to pick it up a little bit. Like Super said, this group actually reminds me a lot like the group from Brazil, where they faced Brazil. So Argentina would be the South American team. In my opinion, Brazil is a much tougher team than Argentina. So if Mexico tied Brazil, why not beat Argentina? I think is very possible. And then you have Poland, which is also similar to Croatia. And Mexico played a great game against Croatia, so I think they have what it takes to beat Poland. And back then it was Cameroon. Right now it's Saudi Arabia. I think Saudi Arabia is less of a team than Cameroon, so I think Mexico could take the 9 points.
You guys sound very optimistic about Mexico's chances in advancing. I'm going to go ahead and say that they will advance as well, but I believe that it's going to be more challenging for them, especially with Argentina. You guys think Mexico could take those 3 points? In my opinion, I don't believe so because we have Argentina who's coming from, they have, let's say, names. They have Messi, they have Di Maria, like, you guys are very optimistic, but let's talk about then.
Wait. But Fernando, to me, you're comparing a Mexico that was coming from the repechaje with Miguel Herrera. They had another injection, another shot of optimism with Miguel Herrera. A different style of play. Mexico was a lot more aggressive than the World Cup. And yeah, the result was the same against Argentina. But we're talking about a team from Tata. The only actually good year when they played it was in the first year, a full year of Tata Martino in front of Mexico. I don't see how we compare these two national teams from 2014 to this one. There's different players. We have Hector Herrera that was at his prime at the time playing for Porto. We have Chicharito that was still relevant at that time, and I think he was playing in Spain at the time, if I'm not mistaken. It's a whole different time, a whole different team. You, like Samara said, from Argentina, you have Paredes playing in PSG. You have Messi. You have Di Maria. You have Mauro Icardi. You have great players. You have, honestly, I think this is the best Argentina. You're comparing it against Brazil. You say Brazil, it's a lot tougher than Argentina. Don't forget, Argentina beat Brazil in the final of Copa America last year to to take that trophy that finally Messi was able to obtain. I think I don't think Argentina is gonna look as easy. I think Argentina right now is a lot more prepared than the Argentinas we have faced before, and has a lot more talent within their feet of players, the name of players. Because when I'm not talking about popularity, because at the time, yeah, a lot of players from Argentina were really popular. But I think right now Argentina has a lot more talent than back then, and Argentina is gonna be a tough opponent. And for me, it's one of the contenders to win the whole thing.
So Fernando, so who would you say is the biggest challenge for El Tri in the group stage? Whether it be, I don't know, beating Argentina or getting those 9 points.
It'll definitely be Argentina. That's going to be the toughest team to play. Obviously, it's cabeza de grupo. But something that, going back to what Edwin said, we are going against a Messi that is mentally not there, that is frustrated, that is not going through his best
in PSG, not in the national team.
No, but
if you see him play,
if you see
him play in the national team, it's a lot different than what he plays when he plays with PSG.
But obviously, the game that you have currently in your club is gonna reflect to what it is in your national team, and on top of that, he has a lot of pressure. This could potentially be his last World Cup, and he knows that. He's aware that if he doesn't win this title right now, he's not gonna have the chance to do it. So he's pressured, and I think throughout history or throughout his career, we've noticed that he does not perform very well under pressure like other players do. I mean, you've seen other tournaments where he gets frustrated, right? And like
you can see either pressure, or you can also use it as motivation, man. As if he's the last World Cup he's gonna play.
He hasn't shown that when he's under pressure, he uses it as motivation. For most of his career,
we do have to take into consideration though that Argentina, as of right now, their record is 31 games unbeaten. So definitely a challenge for Mexico there, in my opinion. I believe their biggest challenge would be to beat Poland and to win that debut, because they haven't lost a debut game since, I forget when, like 1988. But Super, what do you think would be their biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge that Mexico has right now is within themselves. That the coaching, the staff, that they need a better leadership. That's what it is. And Tata Martino has to understand that now this is it. This is it. You had 4 years to form a team that would basically make it to that quinta partido and beyond. He has not show us that this is possible with the way they've been playing. He has not shown us that something different is gonna happen in this World Cup than anything else that has happened in the, how many, like 8 consecutive ones, 7 consecutive ones that we have played, and or in history. It's just that's where the real challenge is, within the same team. And if he's not gonna bring the best players to if he's not gonna take the best players to the World Cup, then we are lost, because like I said, he has just lost it, like in total control. I just think that way.
And Super, it's funny how we criticize so much Juan Carlos Osorio in the last process, in the last qualifications for the World Cup, and I think it was one of the best qualifications for Mexico. We beat Honduras in Honduras. We beat Costa Rica in Costa Rica. We beat US in Columbus. I think right now maybe it's not just Tata Martino. I think it's some of the players that he's bringing into the team. I mean, Herrera has just barely started playing as a starter in Atletico Madrid, has become important not too long ago. There's a lot of players that, for me, we're not calling Mozo from Pumas, that I think is the best right back that we have in Liga MX. And we're taking Jorge Sanchez, that I think, to me, has made horrible mistakes in a lot of key games, including America and including the national team. I think that whole combination between the speech of Tata Martino that he said in the beginning, that every coach from the national team has said it repeatedly, that is, I'm not gonna call a player that is not in the best physical or form. I think it's getting a little tired. I think that speech for the players inside the locker room, it's getting a little tired, and players are just not performing the way they're performed.
Okay, guys. So speaking of players, do you think that after seeing the group stage rivals, do you think that that will motivate Tata to call Carlos Vela and Chicharito, which we keep bringing up every show?
Carlos Vela, it's a no for sure. He himself, he already said that even when he was in the national team, nothing really big happened with him. So he does not want to be in the national team. And I know he has a lot of contact with Tata Martino. He has had a lot of contact and calls with Tata Martino. Chicharito, okay, I'm gonna say only this once. He's not, as long as Tata Martino is the coach of the national team, he will not be back in the national team. The reason is internal problems with the coaching staff. That's the reason. That's the main reason. And from one part they believe they're right, from another part they believe they're right, and none of them their egos are letting them to come in to come into senses and be like, all right, maybe both of us made a mistake. That's the reason why Carlos Salcedo's not back. Carlos Salcedo made the same argument. He got an argument with the one of the assistant coaches of Tata Martino in one of the games against Canada, and boom, he's gone. He's gone. He's no longer in the national team. So
an internal problem there with Chicharito.
Both are not going back.
I would never say never. I would officially count them out once the World Cup starts. Once that first la patada de inicio starts, then that's when I'll rule out.
I'll say, Fernando,
when the roster comes out.
Well, even
the Twitter account from the Mexican national team does not even acknowledge Chicharito playing in LA Galaxy at all. So how is that gonna change from 1 minute to another?
I honestly think a lot of stuff can happen from one day to another. Like you said, something has to happen, and I wouldn't rule it out until, because even Samara said that until the roster comes out, somebody could end up getting hurt once they're concentrated.
I'm telling you, he's gonna call Henry Martin before he even calls Chicharito.
Okay, so what happens if three of his forwards get hurt? I guarantee you that if he runs out of options, he's gonna eventually have to call Chicharito. I would hope it's before that, but I would never say never. So if we all know soccer, we know that soccer surprises us all the time.
Listen, they didn't take Cuauhtemoc Blanco, that was one of the best players in the history of Mexican soccer. Man, you think they're gonna call Chicharito? I doubt that. Once a coach has, his decision made, it's really hard to change it. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
I don't think he'll change his mind, but honestly, I'm not gonna rule out the possibility until the World Cup starts.
Fernando,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Like Edwin says, it's about having pride, right? Chicharito won't apologize. Tata won't bring him back. Carlos Vela already said no a long time ago since Tata took charge of the team. I believe that it is more possible for a young player like Marcelo Flores to make it to the World Cup before Chicharito.
I think that's going to be the surprise. And I'm sorry. And before we move on from this topic or anything, I want to quote something that Luis Garcia said in an interview, a few days back.
Okay.
I'm going to say it in Spanish para decir sus palabras. Él dijo que cuando ahora resulta que todos queremos a Chicharito de regreso en la selección, ahora resulta que es nuestro Maradona, nuestro Pelé, nuestro Ibrahimovic. Cuando él estuvo en la selección no pasó nada. Es simplemente un delantero más que no llegó a hacer nada relevante con la selección para llevarnos a un quinto partido. Entonces, ¿por qué? Si no lo han llamado durante todo el proceso, ¿por qué lo van a llamar ahora?
Above Tata. So if somebody above Tata tells them, look, you got to call Chicharito no matter what
that's the thing. Everyone in the national team it's everyone in the national team. They're not okay with Chicharito. Even John de Luisa said que no está vetado el Chicharito, pero también han salido y hasta mismo Guardado, dicen que las cabezas grandes del vestidor, Guardado, Guillermo Ochoa, no quieren a Chicharito. Han habido peleas con Chicharito y junto con Chicharito y con Layún. No lo van a llamar, así de simple, no lo van a llamar. ¿Por qué? Porque ni John de Luis está de acuerdo de que Chicharito pida más regalías por los comerciales, por todo lo que hace, toda la propaganda que hace la selección mexicana, que le toque más dinero a los jugadores. Ni Memo Ochoa ni Andrés Guardado están contentos con que Chicharito tenga ese tipo de actitudes en el vestidor. Dicen que cuando Chicharito estaba con Diego de Frois, el coach life que tenía, en un momento llega al vestidor y le dice a Oribe Peralta, mismo Oribe Peralta le dijo, tú nada más vienes aquí a tocar la música porque no vas a jugar en esta eliminatoria.
All right, guys, let's move on. We couldn't keep talking about this all show, but let's move on to somebody who might be a surprise, like Edwin says, and talk about Marcelo Flores, who got called up for Arsenal's first team, and he didn't debut, obviously, but will he be in the World Cup roster? Fernando, do you see that happening?
I think so. I think he will. It's just a matter of time before Arsenal gives him a playing time, and Tata Martino could be convinced that he's a good player. And I think Canada is also putting in pressure for Martino to be like, okay, somebody else is trying to get him away from La Selección, so let me just bring him. And either it's because of his reasoning, or somebody else is going to tell him that he has to call Marcelo Flores. He's a really good player, and I'm actually really excited. He's going through his crecimiento in England instead of Mexico, because if he was doing it in Mexico, estuviera arruinado. So he's got a bright future.
Super. What are your thoughts on Marcelo?
Man, I like how Fernando is un romántico, right? I mean, he really has all this, like, yes, it's gonna happen. No, Fernando, come on, you're not. You don't see the reality here that we have with Tata Martino, man. This guy is just a stubborn guy. He doesn't really care about if Canada takes him or not. This is something like en la federación no tiene los pantalones para imponerle algo. If they haven't done that now, what makes you think that they're gonna do that in the future, man? I think it's a lost cause. We're just gonna have to make the best of it with whatever Martino brings to the World Cup. That most likely is gonna be all his buddies that they stood with him along this process, and that's it, man. I don't think we're gonna see many surprises.
Edwin, what are your thoughts?
I think it might be one of the surprises. I had the opportunity to get to know the family of Marcelo Flores, ahora que vinieron al señor Rubén, ahora que vinieron al partido en Austin en contra de Chile, thanks to a friend of mine that works within the national team, we got a chance to chat with the dad, with the mom and grandparents. Some of his family, a lot of his family were there, and they have their foot on the ground that they want Marcelo to play for Mexico. Marcelo wants to play for Mexico. And he wants to become that player that Mexico hasn't had since Hugo Sanchez and Rafa Marquez, which is a key player in Europe that's playing and a key player in Mexico. I think it might be a surprise. You never know. The relationship, from what I heard, the relationship that Tata Martino and el papá de Rubén, el papá de Marcelo Flores tiene, el señor Rubén, tienen really, really good relationship. So you never know, man. You never know.
Right, and it's been said that it's very possible for Marcelo Flores to be called up for the friendly that's later in April against Guatemala. So we saw him against Chile in Austin, and now they're speaking of bringing him here. So I feel like if he shows, his talent in this upcoming friendlies on the road to Qatar, there's a very high possibility for him.
The plan for Marcelo is for him to join the Mexican national team during the Nations League for this year, and him being part of that team, be one of the key players of that team. So we'll see, man. Hopefully.
That's very. Thank you for your insider input, Edwin. All right, let's move on to the match for Mexico versus Argentina, which was it hadn't been confirmed yet, but it was in the works, and that was going to be in the summer in June. But since Mexico and Argentina will be facing each other in the World Cup, it's most likely to be canceled because of conflict of interest, because of the FIFA regulations. But there is other games that El Tri is um, like awaiting confirmation. They already have the against Uruguay, they have against Ecuador, and they also have a game there that they're trying to schedule with Brazil. So, what do you think, Super, of these rivals? Is it better than? Do you think it's going to prepare them for the World Cup? Super.
I definitely think so. I think that the South American teams are just and better quality that we used to. So I definitely think that as they're gonna have it in the World Cup. I mean, Ecuador, they're tough. I mean, they had a good elimination, but it's a team that it has never really been a big problem for Mexico. But again, it's definitely good to have these three teams.
Edwin, what are your thoughts on these already games that are going to be set for June?
Besides Brazil, I think it's just money making for the Mexican national team. They're gonna have it here in the U.S. To me, it would be a lot better if you use all those friendlies, all those FIFA times, the few ones that you're gonna get this year to get the Mexican national team to play in Europe against tougher teams, against teams like, I don't know, maybe Iceland. That's some of the defense great. That has a great defense and didn't make it to this World Cup. I don't know. Some other teams, some different teams, maybe get a friendly against Portugal. Right now they're looking for opponents over there in Portugal. I don't know. Just use your time wisely to get this national team ready. I think other than Brazil, I don't see any challenge against Uruguay with Diego Alonso, which is a familiar face from Liga MX. I don't see Ecuador being a tough team against Mexico, and they also say that they might confirm a team from Asia that they might play against. I don't know who's gonna be, but if it's the same one, South Korea, Japan, as always, sometimes they get North Korea. To me, it's a waste of time. I would rather just have a mini concentration in the Centro de Alto Rendimiento and get the rhythm going, man. Get your idea going. Start practicing with the players that you might think you're gonna take to the World Cup, and then just go, because playing time rhythm, the players are gonna have it regardless whether those friendlies are not. So to me, it's just a waste of time.
Right. So per information from Gibran Araige from TUDN, they are looking for another team from South America, as you say, Edwin, and one from Asia, and also they're saying that a European possibly, but who knows? Who knows? So vamos a ver, Fernando, who would you like to see El Tri face in preparation for Qatar? So out of these, we already have Uruguay, Ecuador, another team that would be good.
I agree with that one. Definitely should be one of the toughest teams in Europe. I like the Portugal idea. I wouldn't mind Germany or Croatia is a good team, or Belgium. Any of those teams that could offer you something different than what the South American teams can would definitely be a great preparation match for Mexico. I don't know, like Edwin said, if this is to make money or it's just lazy planning that they're doing three from the same confederation. But come on, I think the preparation one should be better than just those three games. So either Portugal, Germany, Belgium, or Croatia would do it for me.
For you, Super?
Well, definitely European teams. I think any European team would definitely be a good idea. And this again, this is preparation matches. This is these three teams from South America are gonna be in the World Cup. So I believe me, I think that this is not a waste of time. I think that that is good. I mean, we definitely need teams in Europe. I definitely want to see Portugal. I want to see all these other European teams. Germany. But it's like they they're gonna have to sacrifice. They're gonna have to go. Stop worrying about the money and go over there like we did in the previous preparation to the World Cup. And perhaps they will do that, but again, now it's all about the money. It's all about the
But then
money,
again,
and that I'm afraid that that's gonna continue to be the case.
super. You're facing three teams from the same area, from the same federation, from CONMEBOL, same three similar styles of playing. Say, South America's style of play does not really change a lot. Why would you want to face three teams, three a style of play of like three times the same one, when you're in reality you're not?
Well,
When in
I
reality
do
you're
want
not
to
gonna
face
see
those
it.
teams,
When in reality you're not gonna see it during your group stage.
but that's what I'm saying. Well, you
But
got
why
you
don't
got
you prepare?
Argentina. You
Why
got
don't you
Argentina,
prepare?
of
Why
course.
don't you prepare? Yeah, but why don't you prepare against? I mean, super. Vimos como Suecia nos dio un baile en la Copa del Mundo pasado, porque también la preparación fue muy mala.
Yeah, but you had a team like
visto,
Belgium that was a great game.
hemos visto que a México los partidos contra los equipos africanos, contra los equipos de otras confederaciones, que a lo mejor en el papel se ven más fáciles, se les complica demasiado, y más en una Copa del Mundo. Lo vimos contra Angola en el 2006. O sea, no, por favor, mejor ocupa tu tiempo para jugar en contra de equipos que te van a poner en aprietos, no que van a ser en teoría fáciles de vencer para solamente vender boletos.
All right, guys, let's end the topic on La Selección Mexicana. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back to everyone who's tuning in. See y'all in a bit. We are back. Thank you for joining us. And again, just to remind you to subscribe to all our social media platforms and send us your comments. That way we can read them live. We are live. And let's continue our conversation for today's podcast. All right, let's start with the Leon and Pachuca being invited to the Copa Libertadores. Erwin, you're very close to Pachuca, so
right now it hasn't been official that Pachuca has received the invitation to like a consideration. They are talking about it right now with with the los mandamás de la Liga MX para ver si es una posibilidad. I mean, to me, it's a great opportunity. It's a door that opens for all the Mexican teams to go back to playing CONMEBOL. Pachuca being the only team that has ever won a CONMEBOL tournament in history. It's a great opportunity, especially right now. The Pachuca with Almada has been showing the support en los chicos, en los jóvenes otra vez. Uh, León being one of the best teams in the past 5 years in Liga MX. Hopefully we get to see it. Hopefully we get to confirm it. We get to announce it that it is official. The Pachuca and León will be back in Libertadores. As in right now, it's just been a quote unquote invitation. It's something that was leaked and then the CONMEBOL president confirmed. They are in talks. It's not official that they will accept. They have to see how is it going to manage with CONCACAF, how is it going to manage with all the calendars from the Mexican league. But to me, it's great news. It's a great opportunity to be back in competitive soccer.
Right. And for you, Super, what do you think about this invitation? Should they accept it?
Well, definitely. I mean, I think obviously it's gonna have to be in conjunction with the Liga, el MX. You know that I don't think that Grupo Pachuca is just gonna like decide on by their own that they're gonna go back. I think they have to talk it over with La Liga MX, and then yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, finally, Comebol realizes that they need what Mexico brings to them.
Money.
So and it's el billete. It's a good thing for Liga MX teams because it's a lot more competition. Especially as the we as a league we can go head to head with teams from Comebol and we made it to a couple finals. So I think, including now Pachuca that won la Sudamericana, right? So I think it's a good thing for the to improve el nivel de la liga.
Right. So we have here some facts that our production sent us that the last time a Liga MX team played in the Libertadores was in 2016. And the last time a Mexican team was in a final was Tigres in 2015. What are your views on Liga MX's possible return to Libertadores, Fernando?
I think it's a very nice rivalry. It's a very entertaining tournament, a tournament that provides a lot of good soccer, and I think it's really important for Mexican teams to go to this type of tournament, especially now that the teams from the United States are getting better. Like the MLS teams are playing so much better, and I was a little concerned that the Liga MX teams were gonna fall behind. But if they're able to join competitions like these, it could provide them better soccer or be able to grow with the MLS. The only thing that concerns me is the fact that the MLS and Liga MX are planning this big tournament for 2023, and are they gonna have enough time, or are the players gonna have enough energy to play so many tournaments at once? That would be my only concern, but definitely I would love to see a Mexico back in Libertadores.
If they do it in Europe, Fernando, why not in America? Why not in the continent America? If they do it in Europe, they play about 4 games a week.
That'd be great. It'd be great to see all those players have the condition and the level that the European players have. But I think we're all aware that we're not there yet.
It's funny how you bring out to me. It's funny how you bring out MLS growing and MLS potentially being superior than Liga MX in a few years when comparing it to CONMEBOL Copa Libertadores. In reality, CONMEBOL the only you don't really have competitive games into the quarterfinals or the round of 16 because you have el equipo the strongest from Bolivia. You have River Plate from Ecuador. You have all these other teams that honestly they don't bring out much to Copa Libertadores. That's the reason why the ratings have gone down so much, and that is the reason why this invitation for Pachuca and León for Liga and some other, and maybe in the talks maybe later some other things from Liga MX to join CONMEBOL again, because they have realized that just on their own is not as competitive as it is, and they're not bringing ratings and money they should bring. But to me, it's just funny how you said MLS. The MLS is far behind from surpassing Liga MX.
All right. Well, speaking
yeah, they might be far, but that doesn't mean they're growing. So it is definitely a concern that the fact that at the pace that they're going, they're eventually gonna surpass Mexico.
All right, guys, let's move on to Liga MX and take a look at the results for round 12. Liga MX resumed after that fecha FIFA that we had. Let's go take a look at the results. All right, we have the Clausura 2022 results. We had... hold on, it's because I see it very small on my phone.
It's San Luis against Mazatlan.
Yeah, thank you, Edwin. That they won 1-0, and on Saturday we had that el duelo de campeones, los últimos dos campeones, Cruz Azul winning 1-0 to Atlas, Necaxa falling to America 1-0. We saw how they celebrated, being in the zona de repechaje for a little bit. And Fernando, what happened to your Pumas? They lost against Bravos.
No, they won.
No, they won.
Oh, I'm sorry, they
won.
That's why it was a great weekend for me this weekend.
I'm like, what happened? They lost. Oh, my bad. And on Sunday we had Toluca 2-1 winning against Puebla. León with a draw against Querétaro. Santos 3-1 beating Pachuca. Tigres on a roll 2-0 against Xolos. And then we had some games that had to be played again. Well, not again, but they had to be played since they had been postponed. Toluca and Monterrey with a draw, and Xolos and Atlético San Luis also with a draw.
All I know is that another weekend without Chivas winning, huh?
Another weekend. Super. Defiéndete.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Déjalo. He's just, like
ya
I said, vive en una nube.
Super, ya Fernando, déjalo. Ya tenía años sin ver a Pumas en cómo andan ahorita. Entonces, anda feliz.
All right, so we're looking at the playoff picture through the 12 rounds. Quarterfinals. These are the standings, right? Production?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks. So we have the top 4 that automatically advance. Tigres, Pachuca, Puebla, Cruz Azul. Zona de repechaje, Atlas, León, Toluca, Monterrey, Pumas, Santos, Tijuana, and San Luis.
Toda la Liga MX.
And on the on the Bobo, Necaxa, Guadalajara, América, Querétaro. What's up with America and Chivas?
I mean, yeah, I joked around Chivas and everything, but Chivas and America having 13 points are not too far away from Monterrey having 16. They're just one game away. So, it is a very mediocre league, if you want to call it.
It is.
But anything can happen. Querétaro can end up in the top 8. I mean, or, like the repechaje. So it's...
I mean, it could because honestly, it's a bad it's a bad tournament, a bad design of a tournament that either even the last place right now can qualify and end up in the 5th place, 6th place at the end of this tournament. It's so, to me, it's just how mediocre, how irrelevant Liga MX sometimes might seem. Because you see maybe 7 teams since on the repechaje being able to make it to the Liguilla. It's just funny.
We have a comment here from Luis Bravo who says America's gonna make a turnaround.
To their training station, to the training grounds, yeah.
And we also have Daniel joining us. Saludos, Daniel. What were you going to say, Fernando?
One thing, when I say that this isn't mediocre, I don't mean the soccer or the style of play. The format of the league, the way that it's structured is mediocre, and it is exciting seeing teams play repechaje and La Liguilla, because essentially they do bring us good soccer. But just the fact that the last team can potentially be champions even in the last jornada, it's a little ridiculous.
So after seeing the results for the round 12, what was the biggest surprise out of the teams that played?
Pachuca losing against Santos, definitely. For me, the way Pachuca have been playing and the way Santos were playing in their home, it was just a surprise. It's 3-1 is not what reflects the way style Pachuca's playing right now. But hey, we have to give a chance to everyone. We cannot win all of them.
Fernando.
What is it? The
biggest surprise.
Puebla lost against Toluca, right?
And Toluca, yes.
Yeah. If I'm correct, this is their second game in a row losing after they had that great start. So I think that's the biggest surprise. I don't know if Puebla hit a rock and then they fell or what's going on with them. It looked like they're going on free fall. So that is the biggest surprise. And hopefully they remain in the top four, because it was a nice surprise seeing them at the top. So to me, that was a big surprise.
And for you, Super?
Creo que se nos fue el Super, ¿no?
What happened to Super? We started talking about Chivas.
Tuvo miedo.
Lo hice enojar con mi chiste malo de las Chivas.
We lost the Super.
Super got Se fue al fondo de la tabla, igual que las Chivas.
All right, well, we try to see if Super comes back. Let's take a look at the schedule for the next round of Liga MX. All right, round 13, we have Thursday, Pachuca Tigres.
Which they're playing right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right now. And
yeah, they're playing right now.
Score is 2-1, Pachuca.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's already at the 90th minute. Ya se va a acabar. Pero cualquier cosa puede suceder.
Estamos rezando. Para regresar a la cima.
And then there's also Thursday, Atlas, who just came from losing against Azul, against Necaxa, who also came from losing against America. And on Friday, Puebla against Pumas. That's going to be a good one for you, Fernando. Just because you were talking about Puebla and seeing if they were going downhill. There's also Mazatlán against Cruz Azul. On Saturday, Atlético San Luis against León. Toluca against Chivas. Monterrey against Santos. América against Juárez. And Querétaro against Xolos on Monday.
Look who's back.
Hey, he's back.
El Super. Okay. Predictions. I don't know. Tell me, Super, since you're back, tell me what game you're looking forward to in round 13, and who do you think is going to win out of those two that you pick?
Well, I'm definitely looking for the one and only Super Chivas coming back to
I was about to say you can't say Chivas.
this right? You should have said that. Well, I was looking forward to the one that they're playing tonight. I mean, Tigres, Pachuca. Those.
Well, that one's already happened.
I think two of the top teams that I know, but like I said, I was looking forward to that one. I got to watch a few parts of that game, so it was a good game. And Mis Chivas.
Okay, so Chivas. All right, and Edwin.
Perdón, es que I mean, there's there wasn't any other game that I was more interested about tonight's game. The reason is because you have the top team of the teams in the league. Not also just in points. Also, Pachuca es la segunda mejor ofensiva perdón, Tigres es la segunda mejor ofensiva y Pachuca es la cuarta mejor ofensiva. Tienen a los dos goleadores del torneo, que es Iñaki Ibáñez. Tienen son la defensiva número 1 y número 2, y como visitantes Pachuca es el número 1 en visitantes, Tigres es el segundo, y como locales Tigres es el mejor local y Pachuca es el segundo. It's an interesting game to see, and honestly I was really excited for tonight's game. It's the only one I was really actually going to watch, to be honest.
Very good
but this game was, but that game was basically a catch-up game, right? I mean, I don't think that was the one.
Yes, from round 9.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So I mean, I would, for this coming weekend, I should say, I think Monterrey Santos is the one that I find more attractive.
So with this result, Pachuca would go back to the top of the standings.
Vamos arriba.
I have to agree with Super. I do like the Monterrey against Santos just because both of those teams started off at the bottom of the table and they were playing some pathetic soccer, and it's nice to see both of the teams starting to go up. I feel like Monterrey having El Vasco leave was the best thing ever that could happen to them. They're finally getting the rhythm back, and Santos, I don't know what happened to Santos. They just started playing good out of nowhere.
Mira, al Vasco le pasó esto. Le tendieron la camita.
If that's what needed to be done for Monterrey to start playing better, then that needed to be done. I don't know what problems they might have had with El Vasco, but
pero El Vasco didn't even care about it. He's already signed with Mallorca.
Yeah, I think from both parts, nobody really got along and nobody cared for each other. The team for Vasco and Vasco for el team. So it was the best thing that could happen for Monterrey.
All right, guys. I think we're running out of time. Production, do we have time to talk about MLS, or is that it for today? But all right, let's see. We have time, they say. Okay, let's talk about El Trafico in MLS for all of us that are over here in the States. El Trafico LA Galaxy against LAFC. We have Carlos Vela facing Javier Hernandez for the first time and possibly last. Who's more informed with El Clásico? I guess it will be Super, since you're the one that's the Chicharito fan. What can you tell us about El Tráfico, Super?
No, I think that this game is going to be a good game. I think that finally, what everybody was waiting for when they brought Chicharito over, that to see, that la rivalidad entre Chicharito y Vela, right? And I think both teams right now are doing good. They're up in the standings, so it's gonna be a close match. They're gonna be playing in Carson's and LA Galaxy's home. So I think that we might end up seeing a tie. I don't see, too much. I want to say favoritismo or from one team or another. So I think that I just hope that both, Mexican players score, and that's what we all want to see, I think.
Okay. Let's take a look at the MLS standings and see where these two teams are. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, so we have LAFC, Western Conference standings, LAFC numero 1, Real Salt Lake with 11 points. Where's LA Galaxy? Okay, LA Galaxy with 9 points. So they're at the top there. Austin FC at 4th, FC Dallas, Rapids, Dynamo in 7th, Minnesota United, Sounders, Nashville, Sporting Kansas City, Timbers, Whitecaps, and Earthquakes, the trophies at the bottom. All right. The trophies is actually going to be playing down here against Dynamo this Saturday. So.
La one trophies. Samara, honestly, we are all excited probably to see the first time and the last time Vela and Chicharito face each other. I think Vela, being a key player for his team, same as Chicharito, would try their best to perform. But I think because of the player that Chicharito has right next to him playing, there might be an advantage with Douglas Costa playing right next to him, a top level player that's playing one of a few of the best teams in the world. I don't know, man. It's hard, but I think LA Galaxy might take it.
And they're currently tied, Vela and Chicharito, with 4 goals each. So, what's your prediction for this game, Super? If you didn't already say, I think you already mentioned it.
I think I said a tie, but I think it's a tie, but 2-2.
Okay, y Fernando?
Well, I'm still debating whether I should go or not. I do want to see Vela and Chicharito play, because if I don't see them here, then I'm not going to see them elsewhere, because they're not going to La Selección. So it'd be a nice game, I think, just by the standings. And I think Vela's more talented player than Chicharito. So I think LAFC could take it. I hope they score goals, both of them. So maybe like a 3-1, LAFC wins.
Okay, that's definitely going to be an interesting matchup to see this weekend, to see the two extranjeros in MLS.
I have a question for Samara. Samara, are you excited to see your Houston Dynamo play this Saturday?
I'm not going, actually. I'm not going. I can't make it out this Saturday, but I did want to go to just watch trophies and keep an eye out on the extranjero we have.
I'll be at the one on Austin FC against Minnesota, so I'm supporting.
Austin FC
estamos los verdes, estamos listos.
They got a better crowd, so we're working on it. But definitely I'll be there when H comes down here. All right, guys. Final thoughts, Edwin.
No, it's great to be back. Y ahorita voy a poner una chamarra porque nos da frío en la cima, ¿eh?
Eso. Okay, super.
No, it's great being with you guys here. It's always good chat with you guys.
Y Fernando.
It was nice to be here, and awesome that there's a lot of soccer. Y nada más, Edwin, pídela prestada porque no sé cuánto te la vas a tener que durar, porque igual y los bajan de la cima. So, no la compres, nada más préstala.
No. Me la regalan, papi, no te preocupes.
Pumas ya no llega ahí, no te agüites.
Ya sé.
All right, guys. Well, once again, thank you for joining us. We'll expect to see you here again next Thursday for the next episode of El Mexican Soccer Podcast. Subscribe to our social media channel and also play the Liga MX Fantasy Pick'em. It's free, and you could play every time there's a Liga MX new round, and you get to win some awesome prizes. All right, guys. See y'all next week.